This bit on SFC Objectives, Functions and Regulated Activities is sponsored by Examinator Online, the platform to go to for SFC exam practice questions. Now, SFC Objectives and Functions are covered in Topic 1 of Paper 1, and the 10 regulated activities are covered in both Topics 3 and 4 of Paper 1. So what are the SFC objectives? This is why the Securities and Futures Commission exists. It is to maintain and promote the fairness, efficiency, competitiveness, transparency, and orderliness of the industry. All very straightforward. Promote understanding by the public of the operation and functioning of the industry. Now, the public in Hong Kong is important because many of the public retail investors invest in the markets, probably a higher proportion than other financial centers. To provide protection to the investing public, which continues on that theme. Minimize crime and misconduct in the industry. Unfortunately, there has been a fair amount of misconduct over the years, but that now has been mitigated. Reduce systemic risks in the industry. Systemic risks is the systems breaking down irrevocably. Assist the Financial Secretary in maintaining the financial stability of Hong Kong by taking appropriate steps in relation to the industry. So those 6 points are put forward as the objectives of the Securities and Futures Commission. Could you be examined on them? Yes. We have seen questions where they ask you which of the following are or are not objectives of the SFC. That leads us on to what the SFC does to achieve its objectives, the functions. Now, the first function is almost a non-function, to take steps to meet the first objective on the previous slide. Okay. Then to supervise, monitor and regulate the activities of recognized exchange companies. There are 2, stock exchange and the futures exchange. Clearing houses, there are 3. Securities, options and futures. Exchange controllers, there is only 1, the Hong Kong Exchange and Clearing Limited. And investor compensation companies, there is 1 that is dealt with in topic 3, the investor compensation company. And supervise, monitor, regulate activities of registered institutions. Now, registered institutions are authorized financial institutions, mainly banks, that carry out SFC licensed activities. Then the SFC promotes, encourages and enforces the proper conduct, competence and integrity of persons carrying on regulated activities. And they oversee that by their codes of conduct, SFC codes of conduct, which are covered in topic 5. To maintain and promote confidence in the industry, and we see that carrying through the material in paper 1. To cooperate with and provide assistance to other regulators in Hong Kong, but also overseas regulators. To provide investor protection to the degree appropriate to the class of investor. There really is 2 major classes that we have to be aware of: retail investors and professional investors. Retail investors require more protection than professional investors, and that really is dealt with in topic 5. To promote, encourage and enforce internal control and risk management systems by persons carrying out regulated activity. So while the codes of conduct are looking at the behavior of intermediaries to the outside world, this is looking inward, how intermediaries should operate with regard to their own operations, internal control, risk management systems, etc. And that is covered in topic 6. And to suppress illegal, dishonorable, improper practices in the industry, and that we look at in topic 9. And we have 10 activities that if you are involved in one or more of these, you must be licensed or registered with the Securities and Futures Commission. The first 3 activities are the dealing in securities, dealing in futures, and leveraged foreign exchange trading. Now, dealing in securities on the exchange, dealing in futures on the exchange, leveraged foreign exchange trading is over the counter, one-to-one, between counterparties. It is not exchange traded. We then have activities 4, 5, and 6, which are the 3 advising activities: advising on securities, advising on futures, and advising on corporate finance. Now, if you're involved in advising corporate finance, you'll be involved with listings, mergers, acquisitions, giving independent financial advice. And then we have what I call 4 ad hoc activities. Number 7, providing automated trading services. Those trading services are in-house proprietary trading systems operated by firms. And if you operate such a system internally for your clients, then you must hold a Type 7 license. Activity 8, securities margin financing, involves lending money to investors to enable them to buy listed securities, and often, if not always, the listed securities are then provided as collateral to the financier. So Type 8, securities margin financing, lending money to investors to enable them to buy listed securities. Type 9, the world of fund management, asset management, and finally, regulated activity 10, providing credit rating services, the world of Fitch, Moody's, S&P. These activities will be referred to in many, many questions, but do not be concerned about which number is which activity, because in the questions, they will quote both the license number and the particular activity that is involved. But you will be asked to comment on these, and topic 4 gives you more detailed definitions of these 10 regulated activities. So the objectives, the functions, and the regulated activities of the Securities and Futures Commission will be examined. There is no doubt about it. And the best way to get your short-term memory up to speed for the Paper 1 exam is to visit Examinator online for the Paper 1 practice questions.